Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2 Unit 6.4 Notes. Today we're going to be talking about exponential and radical notation. Our learning target today is to write exponential form into radical form and vice versa, to simplify exponential and radical expressions without, yes, without a calculator. Now, I want you to look at the two forms. I know it's like Mr. Grice, this is Chinese. It's really not that bad, okay? So when we're looking at exponential form, we have our numerator and our denominator, okay? When it is a 1, okay, our 1 right here, there is nothing outside, okay? Now, our denominator is what goes with the square root, okay? This is just for rewriting. We haven't really done anything, okay? Now, when we have more information, the top number, the numerator, is our square, and the bottom, the b, goes with the square root, okay? So I know that might look really, really weird, but trust me, we're gonna get through this together, okay? So our first directions are saying to rewrite the following expressions from exponential to radical form. So my base is gonna stay the same. You've heard us say that multiple times, okay? I'm gonna start with the bottom. So that's gonna be my square root, and that's gonna be, or my radical, that's gonna be to the cubed root, because there's a 3 there. I'm gonna put it in parentheses, and then the 2, that's my exponent, okay? And it's important that we pay attention to what the fractional exponent belongs to, okay? Because that's very important with our next one. The 1/2 belongs to the y, okay? The 6 is still there, okay? Now, when there was a 1 on top, that was our first example. When there's just a 1, there was nothing outside, okay? So when I rewrite this with my y right here, I only need to worry about the 2, and that's just a square root, okay? So here's our final answer to number 1. Here's our final answer to number 2. All right, number 3. Now, the difference between 2 and 3 is that all of 3 is in parentheses, so that means that this 6/7 goes to everything in there, to both items, okay? So our bases stay the same, the 5w. I take the radical, okay, to the 7th root, and then everything to the 6th power, okay? Sorry, hold on. What did I want to do? I highlighted the wrong thing. Mr. Grice is going crazy over here. Okay. And then number 4, if it's a negative in parentheses, that means down here it's going to be a negative 32. Okay. We're doing the root. So there's a 5 there. I put everything in parentheses, and then the exponent is to the 4th power. And that's it. So all we did was rewrite it. Okay, we're just following the pattern. That's all we have to do. Okay, so for number 5, we're rewriting the following expressions from exponential to radical form. There's no number out front, so that tells me that it's, or in the back, so that's a 1. So when I rewrite it, my y, my base stays the same. I have a 1 on top, and then this is my denominator. So it's y raised to the 1/3. Okay, number 2, my base stays the same. It's going to be a fraction up here. The 5 is my numerator, and the 4 is my denominator. So we have y to the 5/4. Okay, number 7, everything is underneath. So when I'm rewriting this, it's going to be in parentheses. And then let's look on what the exponent is. There's a 1, and then with the root is a 5, so to the 1/5. All right, and then the last one, the only thing that's in underneath the root is the n. Outside on the top is a 1. And remember that when it's just the symbol, it's called a square root. So that's going to be to the 1/2, to the 1/2. Okay. So guys, I know this might be a little difficult at first, but I really think you guys can manage this. Okay. Now, simplifying this without a calculator. Some of you guys might have a little trouble with this, but that's where this sheet is going to come in handy. Okay. It's going to help you with the memorization of some of these facts. Okay. So let's go ahead and do these together. 2 to the first power is just 1, 2. And if it's just 1, 2, my answer is 2. 2 squared is 2 times 2. So what is 2 times 2? 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite what color I do this in. Yes, I know, I'm crazy. So 2 times 2. And now for 2 to the third, it's 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. And it just keeps going. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Well, we already know 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So 8 times 2 is 16. And then 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 16 times 2 is 32. And then the last one, 32 times 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is 64. Those weren't too bad, were they? Good, I hope not. All right, next one. 3. 3 to the first is 3. 3 squared, remember that's 3 times 3, not 3 times 2, is 9. 3 times 3 times 3. 9 times 3 is 27. So now we have 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Now I know this might be kind of hard to see, but it's 3 times 3 is 9, and 3 times 3 is 9. So that's really 9 times 9, which gives us, good, 81. Sometimes it's easier to kind of break those up to see what they are. Okay, and then the last one is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. I don't know if you want to go off to the side and try to do it this way. Yeah, that's old school. 3 times 1 is 3, and then 3 times 8 is 24. So we get 243. Okay, just a couple more. I know, it's not that bad, guys. So hopefully the first one you're like, oh, dude, it's just whatever number it is. 4 squared, 4 times 4 is 16. And then 1, 2, 4 times 4 times 4 is, okay, that's 64. I know it's kind of like 8 times 8. And then 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, 64 times 4 ends up being 256. So I think you guys kind of realize what, like this is just going to be 5. This is 5 times 5. This is 5 times 5 times 5. This is 6. 6 times 6 and 6 times 6 times 6. Okay? The 5s are super easy because it's just 5. 5 times 5 is 25, and 5 times 3, sorry, not 5 times 3, 25 times 5, if you have 5 quarters, it's 125. And then 6 to the first is 6. 6 times 6 is 36. And then I'll be nice with that last one that it's 216, okay? Okay, so here we go. These are some good things that you might want to recall back, revisit. There we go. Okay? Now, let's use this information. I can't flip back and forth. Well, I guess I could. Come on. So the first one is 16, the square root of 16, which is something that you already know. Okay? The square root of 16 is what? What do you think? Yeah, it's just 4. Okay, the square root of 16 is 4. Now, the cubed root of 16, I'm going to go back to this other side real quick. I'm looking for 16, and so I have 16. Oh, that's squared, so that's not it. There's 16, and there's a 4 right there, so that's 2 to the 4th. So I know that 16, the 4th would be 2. Okay, so I'm just trying to match it up as I come over here. Sorry, I'm going to erase my highlighter so you can really see more where I am coming from. We don't need that anymore. So it's 125. And so I'm looking for where is 125, and that's to the third, and on the other side, I want the cubed root, so what number times itself 3 times gives me 125, and it's 5. Okay, so 32, we're looking for 32, 32, 32, and boom, there it is. And there's a 5, which is what I'm looking for, and then it's a 2. Okay, so when I'm doing that, we look for that answer, and it's a 2. Now comes the fun part. We actually have to break down, okay, think of order of operations, parentheses comes first. So I'm going to do what's inside the parentheses. 9, the square root of 9 is 3. And then I need to do 3 to the third power. So I'd come back over here. 3 to the third power is what? Oh, it's 27. So I come back over here. And I know that my final answer is 27. Okay? I do what's in the parentheses first, which we actually just did over here. So I know that this is a 2. And then now I have to do 2 to the 4th power. 2 to the 4th power gives us 16. Okay, so it's just really a pattern. Okay, looking at our little cheat sheet to help us out, I'm trying to find 27 and to the 3rd, and that's a 3. So this is a 3, and then 3 to the 4th power is 81. Okay, and we're doing that all without a calculator because we're just back and forth with this worksheet right here. Okay, that's going to be your new best friend. So we're looking at 256 to the 4th root, and that is right here. It's 4. So I come back over here. I'm going to do 4, and it's 4 squared, and we know that 4 squared is 16. Okay, so for here, it wants us to simplify the following exponential expressions without a calculator. So we're doing the same thing as we were doing on 13, but 13 through 16, well, actually 9 through 16, but we're going to do step like what we did here first, okay? So we're going to rewrite it, and then we're going to solve it, okay, or simplify it. So here we go. Remember that the 125 stays the way it is. There's a 1 out front, so there's nothing really to do there. And then this is going to be to the cubed root. So 125 to the cubed root, you would flip to the other side and see that it is 5. So I come back over here, and my final answer is 5. Okay, so I have a number out front, so I know that there's going to be parentheses, 27, and then I need to do the cubed root. So the cubed root of 27 squared, well, the cubed root of 27 is right here. So it's 3. And then we want to do 3 squared, which is right above it. So you know that the final answer is 9. So 3 squared, and then 3 squared is 9. Okay. So guys, is it that bad? No. I see the 9. Okay. The 9's going to stay the same. The base stays the same. I know it needs to be squared. You can put the 2 there if you want to, but you really don't have to because it's just the basics. And then I need to put that to the 3rd power. 9, square root of 9 is 3, and then 3 squared is, I'm sorry, 3 cubed, Mr. Grice, don't change that. 3 cubed is 27. Okay, why don't you see if you can set 32 up on your own. Okay, you know that 32 goes here. That's to the 5th. And then on the outside is the 4th. That's a 2, and then 2 to the 4th power is 16. Mr. Grice, how do you know that? Because I've got my other sheet in front of me, and I'm looking at that. This is what I'm looking at. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to try? Why don't you guys try those 4 on your own? Okay. Go ahead and pause the video, and good luck. Okay, there's my first step. Yeah, first step for all of them. Sorry, no answers yet. Okay. So when we do 16 to the fourth root, that is 2. Okay, number 22 is a little bit more work. 64 to the third, so I'm just looking at 64. There it is, to the third power. Here's another 64, but that's to the 6th. Okay, so I know that that's not what I need. All right, so it's 4. And then we need to do 4 squared, and 4 squared is 16. Okay? The square root of 4, square root of 4 is 2, and then 2 to the third power, 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And the cubed root of 216, well, that's just right over here. That is 6. Okay? So once again, guys, I know anything with the exponents and square roots and radicals, everybody flips out, but it's really not that bad. Okay? You can handle it. All right, so please just, if you have any questions, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself. We would love to help you out. Otherwise, this is Mr. Grice signing off. Thanks for watching.